In a true grid down situation, odds are that your cell phone, landline, and computer are simply not going to work. You could be in a situation where your communication has been hindered due to an environmental issue like a storm or an earthquake. Or you may have been isolated by design, where the government has deliberately cut off an area from communication. People, and indeed entire communities, can be easily isolated in the digital age. And let's face it, all a government agency needs is the right paperwork to keep you or anyone from reaching out during an emergency or any other situation where they deem it necessary to choke off communication. This is particularly evident with smartphones, as we live in a day and age where the majority of people rely solely on their cell phones for communication, which is the easiest form of communication to block. Or have you never driven by a power plant and had your signal completely cut off? Equally, landlines can be cut off, and so can your access to the internet from your home or mobile computer. So, what can you do? How will you reach out in an emergency? If the emergency has already happened and you weren't prepared, then there really isn't much you can do. This is where being prepared comes into play. You need to be ready for this ahead of time. Firstly, you need to have someone you can communicate with, someone that you trust. If you're part of a group or a militia, all of you should have more than one method of communicating with one another, as well as having the capacity to reach out to other groups, so you can daisy chain your communication and come together in times of crisis. Think fingers on a hand. Sometimes they need to merge into a fist. You should have radios with an emergency frequency that your group determines, as well as backup frequencies in case you are compromised. Also, like I said, you should be able to communicate with other like-minded groups depending upon the type of emergency. Make sure you've tested this so you know the actual range, as well as being able to determine how well you can communicate with one another and how quickly and efficiently you can relay messages. Having access to and knowing how to operate a dedicated ham radio is also a plus. If you can't do this, at least have the capacity to reach out to someone that is operating a dedicated ham radio station so they can put the word out during times of crisis. And as a backup, it doesn't hurt to have a CB radio. Something people don't think about anymore. It's kind of become a thing of the past completely. But citizen band radio is still out there, even though it's all but been forgotten. It still works, and more people may have access to it than you think. It may even be a good idea to have an emergency CB radio stored in your car. And another point, using CB radios is something that may not have been thought of by the authorities if it's that kind of situation. I know these answers seem rather simple, but it's something that many preppers unfortunately don't think about too often. So if you have any other ideas, please feel free to post them in the comments section down below. It could be a lifesaver. You never know. Please give the video a thumbs up if you got anything out of it. Share it if you can, and subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be alerted to new content. Remember, you can find me on another YouTube channel called Coffee Talk. Look for me there. I'll put a link to it down below. And if you would like to help out this channel, there are links for that down below as well. So as always, stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.